This is such a great episode. Like, man, I was just sitting back. I was laughing so hard to that entire Anya scene. Like, when you just see Anya, she's just sitting there. She's having that smug grin. Like, that smug grin. I was laughing so hard because what's so perfect about it is the fact that she's just sitting there with her smug grin, looking at Desmond, waiting for the teacher to turn around that corner, and then as soon as she looks and notices, wham! Right in the face. I'm like, yo, bro, this is a good episode. Like, man, I had a good time watching it. It was, as you can see, I was laughing, I was smiling. It just, man, I love Spy Family. Such a good show. It really is. It always makes me chuckle. It makes me laugh. And I like the energy it gives me, honestly, because it's just like, I love stuff like that. I love stuff that just gets me pumped, gets me happy, etc. And that's exactly what Spy Family Episode 6 did. And I want to be honest with you, there is just a gold mine throughout this episode. Like, seriously, like, straight up, there is so many reaction faces for Anya. It's insane. Like, seriously, you can just go for the episode and you can just screenshot continuously, and you will just see multiple Anya faces. So distinct, so different, and I love that. I love the many different faces of Anya, the different reaction faces, because the memes literally make themselves, and I cannot wait to see where the memes go thanks to this episode of Spy Family. Like, honestly, the smile is amazing, and many of us, I know, have been looking forward to it, because for years, as, you know, someone that has been waiting for the anime, and, you know, read only the beginning of Spy Family, you know, I remember seeing the face. I remember seeing the memes of the face and all that, Anya's facial reaction, and finally seeing it animated was definitely something that blew me away, and I was laughing, and I think, you know, everybody was laughing when it came out, and we got to see, you know, Anya's reaction in this week's episode. But yeah, just, honestly, an amazing episode in terms of just laughs and stuff. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about, you know, Spy Family episode 6. So for one thing, we finally get to see inside of the Eden universe, or Eden school and all that, where Anya is going to be participating in to try to move up the rankings to eventually have a connection with the main target that Loid is going after. So it's a very important episode. This is the beginning of a long journey for Spy Family, and it's exciting because we get to see a bunch of new characters introduced throughout this episode that is going to obviously be incredibly important going forward for the story. For instance, we got, you know, Desmond, which is like the son of the main target for Loid. We have a bunch of other characters and stuff that were introduced as well to have some great intel that Loid can get from them because they are affiliated with major players throughout the entirety of the country. So there's obviously a lot of characters that are going to be very important. There's a lot of potential with story arcs and interactions with Anya and the characters, and especially with the way this episode went, like the direction it went with Anya punching Desmond like she did, it opens up the door for more complications for Loid, because as much as we find that funny, like the entire segment is absolutely hilarious, and, you know, Loid's reaction at the end is hilarious, it does not change the fact that that entire interaction is probably going to complicate Anya and Loid getting close to their family, because just going after someone that's basically the top family of the entire school is not something you want to do as a good impressions. Like, just, you know, hitting them right in the face. That's not a good idea. So it's clear that it's going to be a lot more difficult now thanks to that. However, there is something I want to point out, which I found very interesting, and I really want to take a few moments to analyze this picture right here, which is literally a picture that was snapshotted at the end of the episode. You get to see everybody and how they're next to their parents and all that, the entire class that Anya is in. And you could see Anya, Loid, and Yor on the bottom left of the photo, but if you look at the top right, you could see Desmond, the one that Anya punched in the episode, and if you notice very closely, he has no parents behind him. He doesn't have his mother, he doesn't have his father, he doesn't even have even a maid next to him or a butler that is there with him. He's by himself, and I think there is a major contrast of Desmond and Anya right there, because obviously they're in the opposite corner of the picture, but on top of that, you get to see that Desmond's probably, you know, the way his family structure is incredibly different in comparison to everyone else in the school. either A, his family does love him, but they just don't show it personally, or maybe he's someone that's an outcast in his family, or maybe his family's just very strict and they're like, we expect you to be able to be here, so we're not going to be there because we expected this already from you. There could be a lot of different ways to view it, but the point though is that it shows or paints a very sad picture for Desmond. Even though he comes off as a little brat throughout the episode, there definitely is more going on behind the scenes that you can kind of analyze besides just, him being a little brat. There might be him just trying to rebel because obviously he might have had a strict life since a very early age, and he hasn't really had a time to actually be, a kid. So that's one way I look at it. But anyways, diving into, other details, one thing too that I like from this episode is Yor stepping up to the plate and being a very good mother figure, because even though we've already seen her demonstrate she's a good mother figure in the past few episodes, I like this episode for the first half because Yor goes on a mini adventure with just her and Anya, and obviously thanks to Anya being in a prestigious school, having a very expensive outfit, there's gonna be people that are gonna probably target her, because it's like, hey, we can get some easy money, ransom money, etc. That's what people probably think, and that's indeed what happened at the, middle half of the episode. And so Yor steps in, she scares off the people that tried to kidnap Anya, and she proves that she is a really strong mother-like figure, and Anya gets inspired. It's like, I want to be like you, could you train me? Which, leads into the circumstance where Desmond, gets punched in the face. But the entire first half really builds up Anya and Yor's relationship, and showing that, Anya really wants to learn from Yor, to be strong-willed and know how to interact with others. And even if Yor's overall, I guess, instruction or what she was teaching Anya didn't turn out the best way, especially in the second half of the episode, it does go to show that there is a bond there, and Anya is really relying upon Yor. And I feel like Yor probably really is happy about that, because, she already thought about it in the episode that she will never be Anya's original mother, her real mother, and so she feels inferior. She has that, inferiority complex within her that she'll never stack up to Anya's original mother. And even though we as the audience know something happened to Anya's parents, we don't know exactly. We don't really know the true relationship Anya had with her parents. For all we know, her parents could have sold her off or whatever to become an experiment to have telepathy. We don't know. The point though is that Yor feels inferior and she wants to do her best towards Anya, and I like that. It's a really good segment, it's a really good feeling, and I just love the vibes that this series gives, showing that family really matters. It's such a good message. Spy Family really has a good message associated with it, and I see why so many people love the series. Now, besides that, obviously, we got a glorious animated episode. The art's incredible as always. It makes sense when you have Cloverworks and all them working on it, and, Wit as well. So it makes sense that Cloverworks and Wit joining hands together to do a co-production and changing around who works on each individual episode, or if they work on the same episode at the same time, really has benefited the overall, I guess, production of this series. You could see it, and I love that. I love seeing these two well-known studios coming together to just make a fantastic anime that goes above and beyond the original work. It is truly a good time to be a Spy Family fan, and I think it's a good time to just really be an anime fan. There is a lot of good anime that's been coming out. Not just Spy Family today, but we have Shikimori, we have, Tomodachi Game, which I need to talk about very soon. We have, Summertime, Renderer, which I talked about the other day. There's just a lot. There's a lot of good shows, and I'm just happy to see so much quality anime back to back. It really is a good season for anime, and it's got me so happy and jumping for joy. But I guess I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I had a good time making this video, and hopefully all of you that watch this video were entertained to some degree. If you were, please, drop me a like, and if you didn't like the video, you know what, leave me a dislike. I can see the dislikes. Even if you can't, I can see them, so it does let me know what you guys like, or if I did something wrong. I always appreciate feedback, constructive criticism, anything. I'm always looking forward to it. And also, I'll see you guys in the comments. Can't wait to see what you guys say and how you feel about the episode of Spy Family. But with that, guys, I love you. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.